Hi, my name is Jim Stone, and I'm going to show you how to make a basic survival stove using only these 3 items. Many of the stoves you'll find featured on the internet require tools and parts that you may not have in a survival situation. This efficient, clean-burning stove requires only a can opener, a coat hanger, and a number 10 can. This stove operates on controlled airflow. To get your airflow, you just poke 4 holes with your can opener around the bottom of the can. Okay, there's your 4 holes. Then, on the very first ring from the bottom, you got this empty space here, and then you've got this ring. On the very first ring, you go around the circle and you poke 12 small holes with the tip of your can opener. You can see I've got 12 holes poked around the bottom of the can, and also on the top lip of the can I've poked 4 of the small holes. Now the next thing you do is you take your coat hangers and you break them by bending them back and forth, which obviously requires no tools. You then take your broken coat hangers and you feed them through the 12 holes that you made. You take your wires and you bend them like this against the circumference of the can. And when they're bent, they'll look like this. You flip them the other way and they'll just click into place. And they're flush with the can. That prevents anything from poking out and getting snagged on things. When you finish inserting and bending your wires into place, they form a grate at the bottom of your can that looks like this. This grate will hold your fuel off the bottom of the can so that the air can go in through the 4 holes and get under the fire. You then take your remaining 2 wires. 2 hangers will give you 8 wires, 6 for the bottom and 2 for the top. You take your remaining 2 for the top and you feed them through the 4 holes that you poked in the top of your can. These 2 wires you do not bend in place because you want to be able to remove them when you're done cooking. Your pan will sit on top of those 2 wires that you have on the top of the can, and that's where it sits while you do your cooking. If your pan chokes your flame out while it's with the wires going through the holes, you can raise the pan up by placing your wires right on top of the can and then setting your pan on top of those wires. Most 2-quart pots will fit inside the stove when you're done cooking. And when the pot is not in use, you can of course fill it with various items and save space in your backpack. I personally, however, would probably opt to put something in that pot that I wanted to keep dry. I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine who's working with me on this stove. This is Maurice. Fuel for this stove can be had anywhere. As you can see, just about any tree has what you need. You're going to need dry fuel to start it with. This here is a dead pea plant. Grass and leaves and anything else will work to help you start it. As you can see, Maurice has gathered up a fairly good pile of fuel in a very short time. We've prepared the branches we went out and got for burning in the stove. We've got our tinder here, our kindling here, and our larger sticks here, and Maurice is going to show you how to pack it into the stove. Of course, on the bottom, you put your dry tinder. Your next step is the small kindling branches. You got to break them ahead of time so they'll fit in the stove. We've already done we've already broken them up. Then we add the larger branches. just basic Boy Scout fire inside the stove. As you can see, we've got it packed pretty full, and we're going to try to light it even though it's a little bit windy. Looks like we got action with a second batch. Once the fire gets hot, you can see that it's burning the smoke before it comes out of the can. Of course, when you have a windy environment, your mileage will vary on this, but there's no smoke coming off the fire right now. If you have us make the stove for you, you're going to get a couple of risers that will help the air circulation under the fire and reduce the smoke that it puts off. As you can see, we've got this thing going very smoke-free. That's one of the advantages to this design with the restricted airflow. It actually burns the smoke off instead of soaking you in it. It takes a while for it to get up to temperature and stop smoking, but once you do, you can cook and not get a bunch of smoke in your face. This is a quart of water at a full boil. It took a little under 10 minutes, and this stove will boil a cup of water in about 2.5 minutes. As you can see, it's been more than 20 minutes since we've lit the stove. The water's been boiling for 10 minutes. Want to lift the lid. Still going at a happy boil. And if you can't get your cooking done in that amount of time, there's nothing stopping you from shoving more fuel in. And we've doused the flame now. When we did earlier tests with other stoves using Douglas fir 2x4s, we achieved faster boil times, but the natural wood that we pulled off the tree was able to maintain the burn for longer.
Jim and I thank you for watching this video tonight, and if you decide to build one, you have all the instructions you need, but it is also available at our website. You're welcome to go there. Thank you.